One, two, 1, 2. We finna get in a little cap.
How many bodies makes you a hoe?
How many bodies make you a hoe?
Yep. Let's just cut right to the chase. How many bodies make you a hoe?
Personally, for me, I would say like, damn it. I would say more than 4 in a year for a female is hoe shit. It's hoe stuff. I'm sorry.
Okay, good cuss. So more than 4 in a year. So 3 in a year, you're good. 4, you're right at the line. But more than 4 is hoe
No,
shit.
no, I'm gonna be a little more realistic because I got a couple friends that's a little risque. I would say like more than like 6.
6 in 1 year. No. A hoe is a woman who gets paid for the box. That's a hoe. A promiscuous woman is a woman who has multiple sexual partners. And 6 and 10, depending a year and 12-month period of time, I'd say 15 will be sort of pushing it, even though uniquely most people don't have more than 8 unique partners in a lifetime, most people. But there are some women, because of the way they look, and guys, they go up pretty high. And believe it or not, a very attractive woman who's promiscuous, 15 different distinctive lovers in a year, is not a lot. But when you talk about a whole, there are very few women who are having sex and not receiving anything in return, just sex. You tend to find those women are not that attractive. Those women are just not attractive. There are women who will give up the box. And I guess you, in an insulting way, they would be considered hoes, but they're not getting any money. They're hoe-ish.
Kind of like
Well, this is what Kevin makes his mistake with. Less than 0.001% of men, specifically if you want to talk about black men, very few of those men make over $100,000 a year. That's such a microscope. When you talk about 20 million black men being in America, yet ones who make 100,000 a year is less than 0.001%. He's basing everything as if those men are able to control the masses. What about the men who are making 50,000? What about the common man? The majority of black men are common. So he says women need to get away from this happiness situation. Some women are, yeah, the unattractive. The hypocrisy about a lot of what Kevin did was he's talking about very unattractive, basic women, women with kids. Well, we kept seeing the women who called him were basic, unattractive, barely attractive women. Well, not beautiful women. They were basic, unattractive women who even he agreed and said, you can't get a high value man, but you can get regular guys, but you can't get high value men.
A persistent condition. Okay? And far too many women are walking around today thinking that I don't want to settle. I want to be happy. And I'm going to tell you, I've gone back and listened to many of the videos I've done with women who are in the top 20% of earners. The more money women make, the more education they have, the more they're in on this, oh, I want to be happy.
I'm a PhD.
Why? Because they don't need a man's money and they don't believe they need a man's protection. So now women are buying men not on need. Some women are choosing men on want and desire. And here's the thing. Here's the problem with that. The women who pick men this way dominate the media. Dominate the media. So I'm telling women, stop listening to women who make more than you. Stop listening to the women online, in the news and in the media. They make more than you do. They don't have your lives. They have more money and they have more notoriety. You're a regular person. Happiness comes in spurts. And I will tell you, I've been the guy who elicited those strong reactions in women, and it's almost like they wanted it to go on forever. Life eventually becomes a routine and normal. And to that regard, life becomes boring. And modern women, as much as modern women want, crave, and need attention, they despise being bored. Now, you think about it. We have women today in a time where the attention span of the average person is that long. Attention spans are shorter than ever, and now women are expecting men to keep you happy. What just happened? To keep you happy, and make sure you're not bored. Absolutely not. That is too much for one man to do. That is too much for one man to do, to keep you happy and not bored. Absolutely not. Gentlemen, it is not your job to entertain your woman. That's her job. Just like I said on Instagram yesterday, ladies, your climax is your responsibility.
It depends on the woman. If a guy finds a woman who wants to be with him, you're right, Kevin. If the woman is pursuing the man, if the woman is pursuing other women for his attention, you're right, Kevin. But if he's pursuing that woman, if he's the one pursuing her, if he's the one trying to win her over, he's got to do something to entertain her.
Your climax is your responsibility. A man is responsible. He is not responsible for the big O for you.
That's ridiculous. The woman, if you find a woman who's needy and lonely, you're right. You really don't have to worry about if she can orgasm. But most men are looking for women who they want to sleep with. Most men, that matters to them.
You are. Gentlemen, you're not responsible for her climax. That's her responsibility. You're responsible for for being present and being willing to listen to things that she wants, but you're not responsible for figuring out the Rubik's Cube of her mind. And this is what so many women want men to do. You want men to get out here and conquer the world in general, and then you want men to also be your soulmate and your one true love and give you great sex for the rest of your life. No. And if a woman doesn't get this, she's not happy. And then even if a woman does get something that approximates happiness, they often find themselves bored. Being married to a man of value is boring because you take away the need to survive for a lot of women. And most women equate chaos with not being bored. They don't want the routine of life. This is why you see so many women who are always, living these fantasies. That's why they love reality TV and all these different things, because it gives them an emotional charge. And smart women, if you're smart, you'll get over this need to be happy all the time. If you're a smart woman, you will get over being bored. Being with somebody for a long period of time is boring to the modern mind, to the modern female mind. Modern women. I almost decided to put independent in here, but it's really not. Happiness, modern women's desire to be happy is overwhelming them. Get the likes up, people. Modern women's desire to not be bored is overwhelming them, causing them to make bad decisions. And then modern women's delusion that they are omnipotent, all powerful, that women are all powerful is at the root of all of this, because women today feel like they can do anything. They believe they can fly. They believe they can do anything they want to. That's the reality. They believe they can do anything they want to.
Once again, they can. It depends on the guy. We still live in a beta male society. Most of the men are beta. They're not alpha. Most men are bending over backwards, kissing the butts of the female, trying to satisfy them, not just sexually, but from a material standpoint also.
Just a little bit of time, and this is why. How many of you guys watched the video I put up? With me and the woman talking about how she left her fiance, her relationship of 10 years. How many people saw the video of the woman who left her relationship of 10 years? And when you asked her, I wasn't happy. And if I'm not happy, I deserve to be happy. I don't know why women believe they deserve to be happy. I don't know where y'all get this from. I deserve to be happy. No, no, you don't. You deserve to be happy? Not. You make yourself happy, ladies. 10-year relationship. She gave it up. For what? For the possibility that she could find it again. I want you guys to understand that was good enough for her. Women have been told that, you know what? It is better to ditch a relationship and risk being alone versus taking surefire, reliable man. Ladies, hear me and hear me well. Pick the reliable guy. And that's what and here's the funny thing. What ends up being the punchline? Women wait till they're all the way in the danger zone. Past the danger zone. Women wait till all the way here. No man's land. Then all of a sudden, they get it. You wait till you every bit of 40 to 45, and now you get it. But for some balance, guys, we also go get the hottest, best sex, craziest, most neurotic, irritating woman, and then we decide to go down in looks to go up in cooperation and femininity. We learn quicker than women, though. But here's the thing. Men, we recognize our limitations far sooner than women because the world continues to reject men. The world continues to level set men. Women don't recognize their limitations, gentlemen. They believe that they believe that the world has told them that they're better than a whole lot of things. They believe this. They truly believe it. They believe all this stuff is possible. And to that regard, ladies, and whose benefit is it for you to remain unmarried and unattached? You remain a better consumer this way. Think of HBO as cable. And think of a solid man as Netflix, Disney. Something that you can watch on demand. Cable is antiquated now. Why? Because you have to watch what they program when they program it. And it is far better to have on demand a relationship to where if you want to go to the movies, you want to go to travel, you want to go trip, you want to do this, you want to do that, you can always do that with your man. Ladies, make no mistake. Make no mistake. It is far better to pick the guy that doesn't make you happy 24/7, 365. That's not a man's job. Never has been. Don't know why women believe it. I don't know why y'all ladies believe it's a man's job. But let's change that whole.
Well, yeah, nobody's going to make anybody happy 24 hours a day. That goes against even relationships. Most relationships are not necessarily going to make you happy all the time. That's just not going to happen. A woman has to go through the ups and the downs, but that's her that's the normal, healthy, emotional attachment that a woman has. There might be some issues where she's upset, but it's not to the point where she's willing to stop the relationship. But as we see with Kevin Samuels, once again, money's not enough. The money is not enough. Kevin continues to tell people all you need to do is lead with your wallet. Money, flat out, is not a must, not enough to get these women. The women are not going to. They'll use the man for a while. They'll take the money. They'll certainly use that man for a while. But once they get what they need, they're going to get rid of that man.
Notion right now. It is not a man's job to keep you happy. It's not. NOT not. And I was telling you, I want you to go back and listen to all the women I talk to who make over a certain amount of money. And that's what they prioritize more than everything else. They want a man that's attractive and they want to be happy. And I need you ladies to understand something. And then when you tell them you can't have this, they're like, I can't have nothing? What? What do you mean? Yeah, you can have something. You can have a family. You can have in-laws. You can have cousins. Your life is not supposed. Men, I want you to understand today, women's entertainment is men. I love my Atari 2600 when I first got it. I grew up as a gamer. And I would tell you there was nothing that I loved better than playing video games. I had to not, I don't own video games right now because I would play them all the time. I would. So I had to check that, right? And the funny thing is, I realized about myself that, I had to do it in spurts, but it gave me a lot of pleasure. I love I love quest games and games where you got to figure out puzzles. That's why I'm a Dungeons and Dragons kind of guy. Game of Thrones, anything where you take a character and level them up and got to figure because it engages my creativity. It makes my mind work. Today, gentlemen, you might as well come with a joystick because women have put the entire burden of everything on men. You're supposed to be loyal, protector, provider, prophet, priest, sexual professional, and you're supposed to keep her entertained on demand. Absolutely not. Ladies, please give up this notion of HBO. Give up the notion that you need to be happy. You know what's supposed to make you happy, ladies? Your family. Your husband is supposed to keep you content. That's right, content. He's not supposed to make you unhappy. You're supposed to be right here, not too high, not too low. Your husband's supposed to keep.
Most relationships are like that. Most relationships, someone you're just casually dating, casual sex, it really doesn't matter because you don't see that person. But most relationships, when people say, I'm going to be a part of your life, when man or woman, they both understand that it's not going to be a, in the clouds. It's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be a roller coaster. And one of the reasons people break up is because one side goes too far. But most relationships are roller coaster relationships.
You content. You're supposed to keep your husband happy. You're supposed to keep him. Well, Kevin, that doesn't sound fair. I got to keep him happy. He doesn't have to keep me happy. You're right, because he has to die for you. We die before you. We got to go do all the heavy lifting. You're our support system and not ours, and we're not yours. And this is the problem. The roles are so reversed to where women are actually surprised that they belong to us, that we can tell them what we like. We can tell them what we don't like. We can tell them, y'all, we don't like weed. We can tell you we don't like the weight. We don't like you're coming with somebody else's kids. Women today, modern women talk about men as if we have no say so in them, but they.
But we still live in a beta society. And since we live in a beta male society, a woman with kids who may be fat will still be pursued because there are a lot of beta males. When you say high value men, you're talking about less than 1% of the 20 million black men. You're talking less than 1% of that group. Out of 20 million, less than 1% of those men are making over $100,000 a year. And even those men get played and used by women. So it's one thing to say these things, but then again, the majority of black men, majority of men are beta males. And they are going to deal with women with kids, and they are going to deal with women who require them to give them money, with women who they require them to sexually satisfy them. Now, if you want to not engage with women, continue to listen. But he says, one thing about Mr. Samuels, one thing about him, he says some things right, but he also says some things wrong. This is a situation where he's saying things wrong.
Have all the say so in us. And gentlemen, this is one thing you should take from modern women's mindset. They don't have any problem putting high standards and restrictions on you. That's why you should have none on them. Why do when I ask a woman how much she weighs, and I'm 5'4", 160, 5'4", how much do you weigh? 165 pounds, and I go, oh, I weigh 150 pounds. No leeway. Stop giving away. You like it? I got a 25-inch waist and blah, blah, blah. No, absolutely not. Ladies, real talk. Real talk. Let's have the conversation. I am curious. Help the men out, because the men want to know, how long are you supposed to be happy? In a 30-year, let's say you got married. Let's just say, for shits and giggles, you got married at 27. And let's say your husband's going to live to be 75. Well, hold on. 40-year marriage. A 40-year marriage. Well, it needs to be longer than that. A 40 to 50-year marriage, that gives you time. Well, if you marry a guy who's 35 and a 40-year marriage, 40-year marriage. A 40-year marriage, he's 35, you're 25. In a 40-year marriage, how many years are you supposed to be happy? How many years are you supposed to be happy? When does happiness supposed to stop?
In modern society, in the modern world we live in, unfortunately for a lot of men, women have the option to file for a divorce. And we see that Kevin's right. Women tend to file first. The only way you're going to have the ability to manipulate, control, run women is if you are a unique, special individual. You have to separate yourself from the rest, and it's not just money. You just can't depend on money.
This is what men want to know, because you ladies talk in code, and I can devise womanese, and I speak chameleonese and womanese, but men want to hear from you ladies. Just like one woman said she got rid of her relationship for 10 years because of sex. It was because she wasn't happy. She was likely bored in the bedroom and other places. And many women today, you're bored, but you don't even have the language to tell men what it is you want. We're gonna get into that on Friday. A big part of the problem today is women do not know how to tell men what they really want. And a big portion of that is because women have never really sat down. You just expect us to figure it out. Ladies, you really be amazed at how much y'all expect us to have to do. We're just supposed to figure it out because we're the leader.
It is a man's job. It is a man's job to figure out exactly what it takes to make a woman happy. Very few women, for lack of a better word, know specifically what it is, but they know how they feel. Women are very emotional. It is a man's job. It is a man's responsibility as a man to understand her emotions and keep her satisfied. And if you're dealing with women who you can't keep satisfied, that's why you leave those women alone. But it's not hard to do. It's very easy to do. You don't put her needs ahead of yours, but still you are required to emotionally satisfy this woman.
They don't want to be inconvenienced. They don't want. Modern women want an opulent life. They want a posh life. Think about it. Ask the average woman, would you get married if you had to work as hard or harder in the marriage as a single woman? And most women will tell you, no. Marriage is supposed to make my life easier. Okay. So let's talk about it. I want the ladies to come educate the men and tell us why you should be able to leave a marriage because of boredom, because you're unhappy, or the like. Let me go ahead and unmute you, Antoinette. Go ahead. You got to get on camera. I got to be able to see you guys on camera. If you don't want to be on YouTube, you can ask me not to be on YouTube, but I got to see you on camera to talk to you. All right, Antoinette, unmute yourself. Hello? Unmute yourself, Antoinette. Hello? Hi, how are you? I am well. How old are you, Antoinette?
I am 44.
All right. So, what question are we tackling? I'm talking about happiness, and I'm also talking about boredom. Which one do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about happiness.
Okay. Are you single or are you married?
I am single.
Okay. What do you have to say on the topic?
Pardon?
What do you have to say on the topic?
Happiness is individual. You can't depend on someone else to provide your happiness. So it's kind of futile to expect a man to do that for you. So when women say I'm not happy, I begin to look at them funny and try and understand, why aren't you happy? That's your responsibility, no one else's.
Right.
If you're in a relationship with someone, you're supposed to be complimenting them and not expecting them to do for you what you should be doing for yourself.
Have you ever been married?
No, I have not.
Any children?
None.
Okay. When was the last time you were in a relationship?
About
What? How long ago? How long ago? I don't know what's going on with you. Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
I asked you how long were you in that relationship?
About a year. It was a year.
How long ago was that?
I'm sorry, that was 6 months ago that I was in a year-long relationship.
Okay. What was the longest relationship you've ever been in?
2 years.
And how long ago was that relationship?
Ooh, about 5 years ago.
So you're telling the ladies that
Any dude who's going to date her is, I mean, this is either a chick the dude is going to marry because her money's together, she's a good mother. In a sense, he has kids, she doesn't. You know, she's going to have to really bring a lot more to the dating scene than sex. This is the problem. See, a woman like this is a two, and this has been I've been saying. You know, tens didn't call number tens did not call Kevin Samuels. They didn't. This is what you got. What you got was thirsty chicks looking for a man. Now this chick, this is about high value men. Obviously, no high value man would date this woman, but this woman can get a husband, provided that husband A has multiple kids, custody of the kids. B, she's a good mother, has the potential to raise those kids and be a mother to those kids. 3, she's good at housewife duties, i.e., cooking and cleaning, those expectations, and supportive. And that for a dude, I would say, who's had his share of attractive women or is at this point willing to deal with women on other intangibles as opposed to beauty, because this woman falls way short on the natural beauty scale.
Happiness is your responsibility, which I agree. But you're unmarried, no kids. Did you ever want to get married?
Absolutely, I did.
Do you still want to marry?
I do.
Okay. Um, have you ever been engaged?
No, I have not.
So what's the holdup? What do you think the holdup to getting married is then?
The holdup is actually me. I have no problem saying that. I have high expectations, and I realize that a lot of people just can't meet them. And instead of me kind of
Wait a minute.
accepting
Wait a minute.
them being
You have
mediocre,
high
I just rather be
expectations.
by myself.
You have high
And
expectations. Hold on. You have high.
Yeah, she does. She has unrealistic expectation. A woman who, and see, this goes down to people, women's feeling confident. In a general sense, everyone should feel confident about themselves. You should. I mean, regardless of what you look like, you should love yourself. But you have to be realistic. If you go to nightclubs, if you go to social settings, and rarely does anyone try to talk to you, that's a sign that you may feel a certain kind of way, but how does the group feel? This woman right here at 44 is not an attractive woman. So at that point, she should be focused on what other attributes as a woman does she bring to the table? What else can she do? She can always claim, I don't know, a mother. She can hone her motherly skills, her abilities to mother children, raise children, her abilities to be a supportive person, her abilities to cook and clean, and those attributes as a support and assistance to the man. She can excel in those areas, but the areas that expectations, I have no idea. I wouldn't say a man this as far as a man, a woman with this amount of attractiveness is lucky to get any attention from men.
Expectations.
yes,
You want to share what those are?
absolutely. I'm a Christian, so I would like for my potential mate to be a Christian as well. I would like for him to be self sufficient for himself, nothing to do with me. He's fully
Self
able
sufficient
to
for
support.
himself. That
Pardon?
just means self sufficient for himself. That just means
Yes,
that
has
he
nothing to do
can.
with me.
Okay.
Just he's living his life, doing his thing. I also expect him to have some initiative and to have goals for himself, nothing to do with
What
me.
does that? What does that
Just
mean? What does that mean?
meaning like he's not satisfied with just the mediocre run of the mill. He has goals, he has passions, he has things that make him excited.
Okay. Did you go to college?
Absolutely.
What's your degree in?
Major in sociology, minor in communication and business, and I also hold a master's.
I'm a PhD.
Um, are you making over six figures?
Not yet.
Not yet. Are you making over $80,000 a year?
No,
Over
just
six?
under that.
Okay.
Most black men, most black women, and even she has a master's. She's 44 with her master's. She doesn't make over 100,000 a year. Most men and women, we'll just talk about black men and black women, that's less than 1% of the population of black men and women over $100,000 a year. When you got 20 million black men, you actually have 3 million more black women than black men. You have 3 million more black women than black men. If your intentions is to marry someone making over $100,000 a year, that's they're sprinkled throughout our society. They're sprinkled. We're people who make that type of money. It's just, if you may find one or two, but the majority of people just don't make that much. And if you're truly looking for a mate, perhaps that's something you should not pursue.
Okay. And what state?
Florida.
Okay. So a lot of men would hear what you're saying. And how tall are you?
5'9",
Dress size?
22.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I'd rather not say, but I am definitely a plus size woman
Dress
for
size
sure.
22 means you're about 230 pounds.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't have to say I'm an image consultant. I'm just giving you a chance because I'm listening to what you want. And you say the man that has ambition and has goals. Would it be, do you think the man that would fit your lofty standards would have requirements for a woman?
Absolutely.
What do you think some of those would be?
You've said this in multiple conversations. Definitely they want someone who is fit. And I realize that's an inequity that I have. So that's why I'm not upset about my status because I'm not meeting that. And that's only fair. I'm a fair person. So how can you
Size 22, 44 years old. So she's failed with her size. She's failed with her weight. Her beauty is long left the building. And she has an attitude that she says she wants a man who can take care of himself. You can live as a man. You can live. You can get a single bedroom. You can take the bus and you can have a job. So that's just an employment. And she's struggling getting, she has a master's degree and she's in and out of these relationships and she's struggling just to find an employed man. But unfortunately for her, that's all she's going to get on this market. Even in this beta society, she's mostly going to get unemployed men.
expect something of someone and you're not meeting that?
Well, you said that you can't find a mate because your standards are too high. And I'm going to ask you, are your standards higher than your sexual marketplace value?
I don't think so because I'm very realistic in where I sit. I'm not saying I'm a 7, I'm not saying I'm a 10, I'm not saying any of that. So I know where I am. That's
What would you rank
why
it? What
I
would you
can
give
sit
yourself? What
back.
would you rank yourself?
Pardon?
What would you rank yourself?
Right now, because of me being a realist, I'm probably a 5 at best. And a lot of that has to do with my weight. And I
Okay, what would you
recognize
rank
that.
this your looks? About your weight to the side, what would you rank your looks? Fresh face out of the shower, no makeup, just you.
I would say I'm about 6.
Okay. So go back to what you said. The reason I
The problem with her believing she's a 6 when she's more of a 2, she's a 2. This woman's a 2. She's 44. Her looks have left the building. She happens to have a master's, so that is a positive, and that's why I'm giving her a 2. That's why I'm giving her a 2. She has a revenue stream. She has income, and she's able to provide a man shelter, provisions, help him get back on his feet, and she's living in a fantasy world. If she thinks, unless she's going to deal with fat guys and unattractive men, and which I know she doesn't want, she's going to have to deal with coming out the pocket, taking care of these men. It's just the way it is.
I can't find someone is because my standards are high, are pretty
Yes.
lofty. But you don't think your standards exceed your perceived sexual marketplace value by men.
Correct.
Yeah, they do. The things you're talking about you want from a man is a provider male. A man that's, I'm assuming you want a man who's making at least what you're making or more.
Around that, yes.
Okay, but you're making right around 60, right?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. Okay. I need you to listen to what I'm about to say. A big part of the issue today with women is you guys have these careers and these degrees and this perception of the value of it, but where it matters is where it gets in the bank. So you could have a master's or whatever, but you ain't making master's money. At 44, you've pretty much you're topping out on your income. Okay, that's just what it is. You already talked about the weight issue, and you got to be realistic that a man with ambition is going to want a woman that's going to be fit, and that is something that you have every bit of control over.
Right.
So it's not because of your standard. I could make the argument that you're just lazy when it comes to being fit for a mate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do have control over this. But what do you, if you had to give yourself out of 100%, what do you think the likelihood that you will marry in your lifetime?
Oh, 30%.
30%. When you reach 50, what do you think that percentage would be if you're still unmarried?
15.
So you have 5 years before it goes from 30 to 15%.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to make sure you get married in the next 5 years to the kind of man you're talking about?
What I'm doing is, when you think you're doing something correct and it's not giving you the results that you want, you got to look for information. And I've learned a lot by listening to your program and other people who have similar views. And I stepped back and I said, you know what? It's not wrong. So I'm in the process of fixing some things.
What exactly are you doing? What are the top 3 things you're doing?
Looking for another job. Weight. Actually creating a weight program for me to stick to and actually achieve realistic goals that I've set for myself. So I'm giving myself about 18 months to get to the number I think would make me healthier. And I think 18 months is a realistic time period for me to
What's the other one? What's the other one? What's the other thing?
And the last thing would be kind of just investing in myself through counseling, like actual one-on-one counseling,
You got a
so that I
counselor?
can
You
work
got a
through my
counselor?
own personal issues.
You got a counselor or a therapist?
I am looking for one.
Okay. So, ma'am, I'm going to be honest. Job, that means nothing to a man.
Mhm.
Weight, you're not in the gym. You're not working with a personal trainer. You're not doing anything. So you're fitna. I'm about to. I'm about to. I'm about to. I'm getting ready. I'm gathering information. And I'm going to talk to the ladies. This is one of y'all biggest problems. Y'all, you guys don't do shit. Y'all just sit and listen to what tickles your ears. And then no counselor. And then you say you're going to give yourself 18 months when you said you have less than 5 years before your marriage prospects decrease by half. Ma'am, you're going to die alone. I mean, you said that happiness is your responsibility, not the man. I'm glad you said that. And this is your responsibility too. Because
Mhm.
information, how many times do you need to hear me say, men want fit women before you become a fit woman?
Could you repeat that last statement
How
again?
many times do you need to hear me say men want fit women? How many times do you need to?
She got a chance. She has a legitimate chance of finding a mate if she spends some money. Now, employee guy. If she's making 60,000, she has a master. She's 44. She doesn't look good. Her youth is gone. Her beauty's pretty much dried up. She still has income. There are enough men in homeless shelters. There are enough men in the prison coming out of prison, or guys who are down bad. And I'm sorry, that's the pool of men she needs to look in. She's not going to get a man of means or a man with money.
Hear men say men want fit women before you choose to become a fit woman.
Um, Remember how you said, "What are you doing to make this happen?"
Hmm.
I'm not like most people. I just discovered you within the last week and a half.
Well, that's
So
fine, but
this is
ma'am, but
new
ma'am, but ma'am,
information.
but due respect, ma'am, you live in Florida. That's not Mars. You know men want women that are fit.
Mhm.
This isn't new information. We're roughly the same age cohort. So, are you? Can you honestly say you're really doing the work, or or is the work too much at this point?
Oh no, I'm doing the work because, like I said, happiness is for me. And I know that
Mhm.
I would be personally happy with me, not even considering a man, for me to achieve my personal fitness
Oh, so
goals for
you're
me to be
okay.
happy.
So you're okay. Okay, but happiness is for you. But we're
Hmm.
talking context relationships. So when you ladies start talking like this, I immediately bristle because now you're diminishing the outcome. It's like, well, who needs to graduate with a 4.0? A 3.5 will do. No, there's no reason. How about you lower your standards? How about that? How about you lower your standards in a man?
I don't, well, the standards that I have, I don't think they're like excessive.
Yes, they are. Is the average man ambitious?
Mm, I,
Is
I don't know.
the average person ambitious?
Well, then I would have to say no. Well, then that
Okay.
must be,
All right, man. But if the average person isn't ambitious and you're average, or would you say you're above average? Now, you said you gave yourself a 5, right?
mhm.
I think that's optimistic. think it's very optimistic. So if you're even what you say you are, why do you get somebody who's ambitious when there is nothing about you in your life today that's ambitious? It's average.
Interesting.
I'm trying to understand, why do you think that's interesting? You've had the longest relationship you had was 2 years. You've had a relationship that's 1 year. You're 44, no children. You got a bachelor's and a master's. You're making around less than 60 grand a year, and you're 230 some odd pounds. That's a lot. And then you say, I want a man who's ambitious, who has goals, and is driven. And I'm like, well, you can want that, but but can you afford that with your sexual marketplace value? You said your goals, your asking price doesn't top your sexual marketplace value. I think what you're asking for is twice what your sexual marketplace value is.
And I can definitely understand what you're saying from, what you believe. All I'm saying is, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would be settling, and I'm not willing to do that.
Well, this is ridiculous. This whole settling thing. There's there's no pot at the end of the rainbow for you. You're 44. You're overweight. You're not attractive. Your position is homeless men. Your position is men in recovery. Your position is men, inmates, men coming through the prison, the correctional facility. That is the only option you have. You don't even have option of regular working men. You. That's not going to happen for you.
Ma'am,
So,
I need you to understand what you just said.
mhm.
Why would any woman, not just you, any woman that's middle age, 230 some odd pounds, getting a man who is average, why would that be settling?
The ambition part is what I'm talking about when I say settling. It's not the
What does he
finance
need to
part,
have?
because,
What does he need to have ambition for? Maybe that's a better question. What does he need to have ambition for?
well, like for me, I believe in generational wealth and planning for the future. So that's something that, you know,
You have no
not a
children,
lot of people
ma'am. You have
talk
no
about.
children. You have no children.
That's true. I don't.
Where are the kids going to come from?
Pardon?
Where will the children come from?
Would probably be adoption at this point.
Ma'am, generational wealth is a buzzword. You have no generations, right? You have no children.
That's
Do you
correct.
plan on giving birth to any children?
Well, science is not on my side, so I'm a realist.
I asked you, do
So
you plan on
no.
giving birth to any kid? So what I'm hearing is you still hold. And see, when I was going to do HBO, the last O was not going to be omnipotence. It was going to be optimism. And ma'am, you've painted an overly optimistic picture. At 44, ma'am, you're still holding out hope that you can get married and have kids, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. At 44, let's say, for instance, she met a guy. She met a guy, and a year from now, she's 45. She has to have the kid. Say, if she has the kid, she's 46. 10 years from now, she's 56. She's overweight. She's even admitted that her health will be at risk. Then another 10, she's 66. If she doesn't do something about her weight, if she doesn't do something about her health, she's not going to be capable of raising a kid up to maturity so that kid can take care of itself.
No, I've come to the place where I don't think that's a reality.
How
I've
long?
been
How
thinking
long
about
have you?
that.
How long have you accept? How long has it been since you accepted that reality?
Mm, about a couple months.
Couple months, man. Due respect, man. A couple of months at almost four. You're almost 50 years old. What month is your birthday in?
It's in July.
So you'll be 45 in July. You're almost half a hundo,
Hmm.
and you're talking like a woman in her 20s. And I'm glad you're being honest, but I'm sad. What saddens me is that I see so many women in our generation who are delusional to where they're still talking this stuff about settling. Do you make room for the fact that a man would have to settle for you?
It's a possibility simply because life is about choices and we have to choose
Well,
what we
when
want.
I say settle, what I mean by settle, because you're five, what again? Five tall, 5'9", 5'7"?
5'9".
Okay, man. Okay. If black men were snapped away from the earth tomorrow, poof, all gone. Every trace of black male DNA is gone. What do you think your marriage possibilities would be now?
If there were no black men,
Yes, no black men, none, none
well,
exist.
realistically, from the information I've gathered, it would probably be like zero.
Okay, so the 30% number is because of black men.
Mhm.
So you think black men's standards are lower than other men?
They are. Black men's standards are lower. Like, subscribe, comment, share the stream. Black men's standards are lower. Black men would put up with her, but she would be digging from the lower end, the lower spectrum of black men. And I think her age, out of everything that's presented here, her age is the most pressing. At 44, the youthfulness of a woman it's largely gone away. Even if you have three kids that need to be mothered, she's getting at the point where she's going to get tired. She's getting to the point where she's borderline elderly. I don't know if rather sexy, you can forget about that. And just her overall what she brings to the table. Any man, there's plenty of younger women out there. Every day, some woman turns 18 years old. There's plenty of youthful, beautiful women budding at, starting their life out. So, um, she is delusional. She thinks this way because she believes that there's a light at the end of her rainbow. We got the second part two coming up. Do me a favor, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This is a review master going over some Kevin Samuels videos. We got more to come.